So in late February, Tim and I had a spontaneous idea to go on a snowboard trip together. It was late in the season and the choices were limited, so luckily we found something on TUI. So TUI is well known in the Netherlands. It has 1600 travel agencies, 5 airlines and 150 aircrafts, 400 hotels, 70 cruise ships, 214,000 beds and 72,000 employees who provide 27 million customers in 180 regions. So I thought TUI is a multi-billion dollar business, so it's probably flawless if it can compete with other big companies. The reason we booked with TUI was because we did some math and it would be around 5 to 10% more expensive, so we choose the easy and cheap solution. Tip number 1. Plan your trip early for discount bonuses and having more choices. So Tim and I booked a vacation early March, but then he tested positive 3 days before our flight. So I called TUI and Tim emailed them because we didn't know about the following procedure. When I called TUI, they told me I could go and Tim could stay at home with a no-show, no extra costs, and he would get a refund of 100%. Short afterwards, Tim got a reply on his email, telling him that to cancel the whole trip if he wanted to get a full refund, and I also had to cancel my trip, but I would only get around 90% of my money back. So the answers to our problem were not aligned, so I called again and they told me I had to pay an extra if I wanted to go, and it would depend if the hotel would have a room for one person instead of 2, otherwise I was forced to cancel. They would call me back as soon as possible for more clarity. As time passed, I got worried. I'd better lose some money and have fun instead of losing money and stay at home. 18 hours before my flight, I still had no clear answer. So I really wanted to go, even if it would mean I would go by myself. So after 2 times 30 minutes calls and a few emails, I got impatient and my bullshit senses began to tingle. When packing for a cold weather vacation, it is important to pack the right clothes. You will want to pack warm clothes that will keep you warm and dry. A good pair of boots and shoes that can handle the snow and cold weather is a must. Don't forget your flip-flops for the wellness, and walking in the snow can be quite exhausting, so bring your hiking shoes if you like to go for long walks. Make sure to bring a hat and gloves to keep your head and hands warm. You will also want to bring a heavy coat or jacket. It is also a good idea to bring a scarf to keep your neck warm. If you are going on a ski trip, make sure to pack your ski gear. I personally bring at least a pair of each clothing part, so the other can dry when I'm making my clothes wet. When packing your snowboard equipment, be sure to protect it from damage. Place your board in a padded case or wrap it in a protective blanket, or wrap it protected by your snowboard gear. Pack your boots and binding in a separate bag if they don't fit, so they don't get damaged.
See, it can't be denied. 'Cause I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The more I see it, it can't be denied. The
medewerkers zijn nog in gesprek. Wij doen ons best.
So at the level that TUI is at right now, I personally think that people that are leaving soon should be helped earlier than people that are leaving in weeks. So for communication, it's very important to be fast, and it wasn't fast, it was slow. It was 4 hours in total with 4 different people wasting their time on the same problem. So 4 hours for a top multi-billion-dollar company that's playing at the highest level of tourism, I'll give it a 1.5 star. Price was actually cheaper if you would go without any problems. So without the cancellation insurance, you would actually be maybe 10 to 15% cheaper. I had to pay more and Tim received less back, so basically he lost more.
Bij TUI.
So tip number 2. Always check from multiple sources. If I wouldn't have checked at TUI, I would never been able to go.
Daarom bel ik zelf.
Nee, jij kan gewoon zelf gaan. Dat je vriend niet komt, dat is gewoon een no-show.
Tip number 3. Make a detailed review, because if you have a bad experience, you want others to be able to avoid them. You don't want that business to become rich while treating their customers as shit. So basically, make a good review
En als deze optie niet beschikbaar zou zijn, zou de
for a
hele
bad
reis
and
geannuleerd
for a good experience. So according to the TUI staff member, they had contact with the place where I was staying. So I called Obermeier, the place I would be staying in at Austria, to give me some clarity. So according to the owner of this great hotel, they never had any contact and everything was paid already.
3 verschillende antwoorden gekregen.
So
Ja, dat
always check from multiple sources. So for price of service, I'll say it's slow and unreliable, so I'll give it 1.5 star, because I spent like 4 hours, Tim spent like 1 hour, and your staff members also spent like the same. So you wasted a lot of time during the process.
Dat snap ik hoor. Dus ik ga jou ook even doorverbinden met pakketreizen, want ik kan dit niet aanpassen, omdat het een pakketreis is.
So when I went to Salzburg by airplane, I had to take a bus and I didn't know where the bus was, and the instructions were unclear. Quality of the trip, I'll rate that 4 stars. You couldn't have reached 5 stars, because I'll give a half star downgrade, because when we left to the airport, everyone had the same time of arrival at the airport. So this lane was like at least 30 meters. Besides that, on the way back there was this insane long row with just one desk helping. And to make it even worse, we had to share the lane with another plane. So hundreds of people in one lane.
Al onze medewerkers zijn momenteel in gesprek. Een oog-
So TUI, if you're listening, I have some questions for you. Why does TUI not have a standard procedure when it comes to COVID and other diseases? Around 3 to 4 hours of contact with 4 different staff members with 4 different answers seems a bit inefficient. Question number 2. How can you advise your customer 24 hours before the flight to cancel the whole trip and not refund the full 100% with your premium travel insurance package? I paid $2,777.55 for 2 people. If you split this, it's $13.88. And what Tim got back was only €876.05. Basically, for the insurance package, we paid around $107.50 each person. So if you take away the €107.50, it's $12.80. So let's take it from both sides, which makes it 787. So that makes it €778.55 of the €12.80, which makes it a 60%. Tim got back for an insurance that said that would cover 100% of the package if you have. So the next question for you, Tui, is why did you say the trip for my friend was cancelled by you? The ski card I could get, the airplane seat was free, the bus driver didn't know anything, the taxi driver didn't know anything. On both ways, you could have sold those places. So included in the money there are some weird costs like airport taxes that my friend still had to pay, and other costs that you could cover with your insurance company. Many people go on a vacation without any problem and pay for insurance that isn't used, and still TUI wants to take money from their sick customer. Why not use that money to make sick people happy? It's not that you don't want to go on a vacation. If you want to squeeze as much revenue as you can, at least sell this airplane spot and refund a part to the customer, and the other part you can keep. It's a simple win-win. So thank you guys for staying with me the whole video. I hope this was useful for you, and I hope to see you on the next video. If you want to hear more about Fiberboom, please watch my next video, and it should appear up here.